Hello, my name is Rob Garner. I'm a software development instructor, and today I'm going to demonstrate how to use the project management features of GitHub. So this is a project under the CNM Hackerspace organization, and you find those under here. And you could create new projects. We already have one for Hackerspace website and Suncat Adventures. And this is what it looks like when you come in here. It's basically a list of all the tasks and their status and who's been assigned to them. I find it's easier to work with this in the Kanban board view. And you can organize um, these tables how you want. For example, I don't think I need this one. And so I have a somewhat traditional layout here for a workflow progress. We have a backlog. That's where new ideas come in. So let's say that we're working with this application, which is Hackerspace. And I'm looking at this, and this isn't bad, but maybe I would like this to be a little cleaned up, or maybe a little different. Maybe I would like this to be um, an accordion. For now, it occurs to me eventually we'll have a lot of badges, so we're going to need a lot of filtering. Maybe I want this to be a table and have the badge actually go to another page. I think that may be the best way. A table would allow me to filter what badges are available. But this is going to be an outwardly facing page. So that would be one idea I might have here. The other one is maybe I would like an image that's evocative of Hackerspace here. So I'm going to just do that as a demonstration. I'm going to say, you know what, add item, add image to front page. And often what we have here is we have a user story. As a user, I would like to see a cool image so I know what Hackerspace is about. So we have that card made, and this is a user stories as a I would like to in order to. That's basically how we define our requirements at a very basic level in agile development. And once you have, we don't go beyond that during the backlog stage because we don't know when we're going to implement this, and things may change before we implement it. So when you define requirements, you put them on here. If you're in a meeting and people start going on and on about how to implement a particular idea, and you just want to collect the ideas, what you do is using basic brainstorming techniques. You say, hey, we've got an idea, we've got the user story done, let's move on to the next topic. And the idea is you want quantity of ideas more than quality at this stage. At a certain point, then you take your backlog item, and during iteration planning, you might decide, hey, that's one of the things we want to implement during this iteration. Iterations usually are 2-week periods, 1 to 3 weeks, depending on how you work. And during this stage, we might develop the requirement a little bit more. So some of the things I might do is say, you can assign label. This is really an enhancement. And we might add some more details about what we want to use. And here's a good photo of a hackerspace. And so I might copy that link address and put it in here. And so now this, during iteration planning and during processes, we've we fleshed out this requirement a little bit more, and it's in the ready category. So now here I am, a software dev. I'm at my desk. I'm like, okay, let's see what other things to do. Oh, you know what? I've got about 30 minutes. I could probably knock this one out. So what you do is you drag that over, and I'm going to assign myself to it. And what that does is it makes it clear to anyone else who's coming to this board, oh, Rob's going to do this one. So we're not going to have 5 people doing the same task. So it's a form of deconfliction when we do that. The next thing we do is we go in here and then I'm ready to work on it. We can create a branch here, and it will automatically name this branch, which is really nice. It provides a number, and then it uses the name of the task on here. Rather than making the branch from scratch, it does this. Now, the other thing that we're doing, rather than going off the main branch, which is the main deployment branch, usually in development, there is a dev branch, and then there's also a QA branch. So QA is for testing, dev is where initial development gets done. So this saying, hey, let's make this branch is going to be a copy of the dev branch, and we create that branch. Now, if you're working with any other system, it gives you actually the commands. At the command line, you run this, and it'll actually bring down that branch to your machine so you can work on it. I'm working with Visual Studio, so that's kind of built in. So what I can do is once this branch is here, I can go to Visual Studio. I'm going to close these things out. And then I'm going to synchronize my local machine with GitHub. And once it's synchronized, I can go in here and find that branch, add image to front page. So now I am on that branch. This is going to be, right now, it's just the original dev branch, because this feature branch is made off of that dev branch. And I'm going to add an image. I'm going to add that image to this page. So I'm going to go to the home page, and I think I want to change this to welcome to and the root folder. This is where our images are. So I'm going to download that image to this folder. This is a great day, by the way. First prize, Hackerspace won first place at the International Pilots competition. And then I can bring that over. And let's see what that looks like. I think it's not going to work because we don't use the tilde on .NET. Yep. Okay, so we need some sizing on this. Okay, so I did the styling offline. What I did is I used Bootstrap's grid system. Um, you can find it here to Dynet, or to make it so that it's responsive. So this image will shape responsively in the middle. I have the title at the top. I have the text at the bottom, and did a bunch of stuff here. I added the alt tag, which you need for accessibility, and this image fluid allows the image to change, so we have something that's a little bit more responsive. So here's the image now, and it floats around, and as it changes, it responds to the size. Okay, so this isn't really a tutorial on styling, but just to show that I've completed some work. Now, once I've completed that, I'm going to commit those changes. You, of course, want a commit message so that when you look at the history, you know what happened here. I'm going to commit those. And then I'm going to push this change up to GitHub. When it does that, it's going to say create a pull request. Now you can create this in Visual Studio, but I'm going to do this in the browser because if you're working with some other medium, this is going to be the most consistent thing. And so this is a pull request. And what a pull request is saying, hey, I completed my work and I think it's ready to be committed. And I set up my repos with groups to have dev, QA, and main branch. We're going to want to merge this into the dev branch. So what we do is, as developers working on a group, we will commit everything to the dev branch, and then once the dev branch is ready, we promote all those changes to the QA branch. We'll do some testing. Once it's ready in the testing, we may even deploy it to a staging site. Once it's ready for test, once it's past testing, then we put it to the main branch, which then goes to a feature branch, which then gets, well, the main branch deploys it, and then we save that off as feature branches or release branches. So when you're working in the dev side, you're just putting everything into dev. And added image to the front page, home page. I think it's awesome. And then I create this pull request. Now, one cool thing is you can actually, if you have members of your team, you can actually ask members of your team to do a code review on them. And then this sits there ready for a pull. Now, generally, what happens is you have the dev admin will come into the site and says, looks at the repos, goes to Hackerspace, the one they're managing, and says, oh, there's a pull request. Okay, so they go in here and they can open up that pull request and see, okay, Rob says this is ready to merge into dev. And then what they can do is they can pull down that branch, go to it and review the code, take a look at it, run it, make sure it works. And once they're satisfied with that, they can either merge that pull request, or they can add comments and start a conversation going back and forth. There's also other options, but generally what will happen is you'll start, if there's some concerns, you might have some conversations going back and forth and try to get it done. Now, once it's complete and you're satisfied, then the dev admin typically would be the one that would complete the merge. That's now merged in. And there's an option to delete branches here. I think it's usually better to leave the branches in place for a while and then go and maybe clean up some branches later. But then what happens is that's actually merged into dev. So if I were to go here, for example, and go to the dev branch, you'd see, look, there's the changes went away. Oh my gosh, what happened? It's terrible. But if I go and refresh, synchronize my local machine, now I can see that, oh no, that's now in the dev branch. Now the next person that does a change, when they make a new branch off of dev, they will have those changes in there. So it's kind of important to make sure that with that pull request process, that you really do a good code review on the changes and make sure that, and should try to keep that dev branch as pristine as possible. You kind of want that one to always be able to build. And it's called breaking the build if it doesn't work. And usually we try to avoid that and try to keep it, the dev branch always working. So that's the basic process of working with a project and with branches and merging in with GitHub. Thank you very much.